So, what did you guys invoke that's making all these cell signals go out? The Dooms Chapel Horror evoked some kind of crazy spirit.
It's been a crazy ride,
yes. Did you guys, is the Dooms Chapel looking for a new pastor? Because I'm looking for a new congregation.
Well, we're good on the pastor right now. No, we'll definitely, we can use you. We always have room for more.
So, what was your part, Chris? I know we talked to John last time, and I definitely want to talk to John again. But what did you do exactly, Chris?
Well, I actually produced the Doom Chapel Horror this time around. Usually, we're a small production company, so normally a lot of times I'll do, one of the main acting roles and produce on the side as well. But this was a much bigger production than we were used to, so I went ahead and took a cameo role in one of the scenes, and then focused on full-time producing. So
excellent. And is all the pre-production and shooting done now?
Yeah, right now, we're done with pre-production. It's going into post. We are going to go film one more night just for some more fun shots with the monster. Just for nothing that we need, but stuff that we want. It's stuff that we didn't get during, production that we're like, this might be cool if the monster did this to a hunter or something like that.
Right.
So we're going to go out probably mid-October and do another one of those. But other than that, principal photography is done.
Excellent. Well, I know last time John was telling a little bit about the story of, going and showing the sort of the short film first. And just for listeners, go ahead and recap that exactly. How did you guys get this sort of pitched, and what was the exact story behind that?
Sure. You're talking about basically the origin of Doom Chapel?
Yeah.
Great. Basically, in 2009, John Holt wrote a little short called The Hunt, and it was something that we had been, toying around doing a few shorts ourselves, but this seemed like a lot of fun. So early, I believe it was in January of 2010, we went out for a couple weekends and filmed The Hunt. It ended up being about 13 minutes long. We threw it up on YouTube. Immediately just started getting the hits.
Right.
A lot of hits. And it made us, realize that looking at those comments and everything else, people really wanted to see a feature version of this. So I had worked on another film last year called Clock Out that we had finished last year, and we took the American film market last November in L.A. I went ahead and took The Hunt with me, kind of a sizzle reel of it, and it got a really big response from the guys at Empress Pictures.
At where? What guys?
Empress Road Pictures.
Okay.
They're kind of a new startup of a distributor. They've been around for about 3 years now. They're made up of two guys that used to work at Paramount that kind of quit there and took off on their own, made their own little company. And so they got really excited about The Hunt, and he told me in the meeting that if I came back with a feature version of that, they would distribute it.
Excellent.
So that, went home, got our writer on it. Within a couple of months, we had a script hammered out, and we started the casting process. We took about 2.5 months on casting to get it right, because I'm sure John touched on this before, but we wanted to do something different from normal horror movies where they're just, throw a girl at this one and throw a guy at this one. You don't care about the characters.
Yeah.
And this script was all about acting, and we needed the right actors with the right look, the right talent level to pull this off. So we spent our time casting, and we had a live cast, or 2 open casting calls. We saw about 100 people that way, and then we saw over 200 different video auditions as well. And we were able to narrow it down to what turned out to be a fantastic cast, and filled with a lot of up-and-coming actors and some older actors that genuinely surprised us with their talent level. And went out and made a movie.
Now, is the Dooms Chapel, is that, what denomination is that? Is that going to be like Pentecostal and crazy Holy Ghost?
It's kind of a little mix of everything, but right now, luckily, the Dooms Chapel for us was more about the people that were part of, for lack of a better word, the cult that made up the Dooms Chapel. The Dooms Chapel compound, as it were, was named after the road that it was based on. And these cult members were basically described as people that didn't really have a structure like a church, but it was definitely a cult. They all lived on the land. They all followed a one leader named Jordan, and that was, of course, played by Bill O'Beers Jr.
Yeah.
So that was that. I wouldn't put a denomination on it per se, but there's definitely a little bit of Pentecostal, a little bit of Snake Charmer Baptist, in the way they operate.
Excellent. Well, that's the best way to go about something like that. I mean, if it was like a Southern Baptist, if it was like a Presbyterian, like a Calvinist church, it would be really boring.
Right, exactly. Nobody cares about that.
I mean, does it have snake handling, and do we get some of that?
But it's definitely something that would be very believable from these people.
Right.
And the reason I say that is Doom's Chapel is actually designed to be a trilogy. We really took the best chunk of Doom's Chapel for this movie. If it is successful, it's definitely something that we'll look at doing, and we'll get more into the actual religious practices, if any, you know.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that would be delved into more in a later movie, given the opportunity. But right now, it's you can see anything out of these people. We don't get into it, but you know it's there.
Right. Now, how's John feeling about it? Is it going well? Does it look good?
Yeah, I'm feeling really, really good. I'll tell you right now, every night and every morning was a panic attack during filming. You know, just taking on such a huge endeavor, and I've really equated it to war. I mean, you get a strategy, you hit the battlefield, and you hope to God that some of the plan that you had is executed correctly and gets it done. If not, you soldier on through. But I'm feeling really good. I've started editing now with the first cut of it, and performances are there. Everything's there. It's like more and more I'm getting excited as I put it together to see this is the finished film. The dread has went away, and now it's just really exciting.
So when I hear cult and backwoods stuff, basically what you're saying is you've remade Shyamalan's The Village, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Deliverance.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So you're basically Shyamalan. You're the new M. Night Shyamalan.
Don't say that. Okay, gotta go. Storm man here, man.
You know what? I'm actually one of the few people that like The Village. I love anything with to do with a cult. I like.
I know what you're talking about. I think we actually kind of did, but we bettered it. We took something that didn't have that plot twist, obviously, but took some of the basic elements of the film, and we did something a little bit better. And I can't get into much of dealing with the monster, but ours isn't a guy in a suit. Let me just say that.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, we didn't get many details first time around, but Chris gave me a couple details there that make it a little more tantalizing, which.
Still keeping me pretty quiet.
Yeah, I will say this: if you wanted to, tell your readers and listeners, we do have small glimpses of that monster being made in the video on our Kickstarter page. If you guys go over to Kickstarter.com and go to the Doom's Chapel Horror, you can watch it. We have about a 7-minute video total, but the first 3.5 minutes are footage from the movie, and then the end of it, if you get to the interviews, the end of it has a little bit behind the scenes of the monster build itself.
Right.
We don't really get into what it looks like finished, but you get to see some of the elements that went into making it.
Excellent. Now, Corey mentioned the Kickstarter stuff. What's going on with that? What's going on there?
Well, we started a Kickstarter campaign. We needed to raise some money for the post-production, mostly for our hardware. Not that we couldn't get it done with what we have, but it was kind of a struggle. So we're looking to get some a little bit better hardware. But we started the Kickstarter, I believe it was almost 3 weeks ago. I think we're entering our last week of a 30-day campaign. And we put it up and immediately got a whole bunch of interest. And right now we've been hovering, we're over a third of the way to the goal. We're trying to raise $5,000. And right now we're over $1,300, almost $1,400 in that's been pledged. So we're starting a really big push here for our last week. And we're really hopeful that if we can get that, we can get the exact thing we need, which is basically a new editing computer. Once we have that, it's sky's the limit for us. So we've got the movie. It's there. We just need the right tools to bring it to everyone. But Kickstarter, that was our goal. We kept it low. $5,000, not a lot of money for post production. We've been very fortunate and very frugal struggle with how we've spent our production budget. So we've been very lucky to not have to struggle. We haven't had to sacrifice a lot to get the shots we needed, and we were able to, use the budget wisely. And now if we can just get this Kickstarter campaign completed, we will be all the way there, and then it's just a matter of time of bringing it to everybody.
What's the biggest thing that you're hoping for? What's the greatest expectation that you have? I mean, could we see this wider than local Maiden Alley cinemas?
Absolutely. Well, I'll guarantee you'll see it wider than that.
Okay.
Our goal, and this is when we went into making this, there is, because there's so many films being made now by low-budget filmmakers. Everybody's making a movie. Everybody's got a camera phone. You can go out and make a movie, basically. Yeah. The YouTube has, grown that generation of filmmakers. So that means competition's harder. But the one thing you can do to make your movie have the most profitable potential is to film it properly with the right cameras, the right equipment, the right crew, and we were fortunate enough to have that. So when I think of the potential of the Dooms Chapel horror, it is not limited to Redbox, it is not limited to Netflix. It has the potential of being wide release on cinematic screens.
Good.
Now, having said that, I'm also a realistic person. I know that we are low-budget filmmaking, and you cannot plan on having the next Blair Witch Project.
Sure.
But what you can do is set your movie up for success, and we have done that. We use the right cameras, the right crew, everything's in place. It's just going to come down to finding that right distributor that sees it.
Well, have you rehearsed this? You sound like you're pitching a corporate line.
No, this is just kind of what my job is.
Yeah.
I'm a producer, and I'm kind of the voice of the production company. So
right.
I tend to be the guy that goes out, raises money, and talks to people and do the interviews. So
are you the silver tongue that was mentioned?
Yes, that's it. That's what I was talking about. Well, I'm blessed with the gift of gab, I guess, is the way my dad likes to put it. So
you're the bullshitter, basically. I'm just kidding.
That I can't do. I can't be the guy that bullshits. You know what? You're right. I do sound like those guys, but I tend to steer away from things that if I don't believe what I'm saying, I don't feel like it comes across that way.
So are you guys cashing in on this? Are you cashing in on this yet? In the sense of like, if I've already tried. I've been like, hey, I was an extra in a movie, so trying to use that line with chicks or something, and I haven't really got anywhere with it. But you guys could really push it.
Right. Well, you know what? I will say this. I definitely haven't been able to do that, but it has helped us get notoriety in our, in Western Kentucky, which is where we make films, which is honestly where it's the most beneficial. We're able to go to, people know us now, and we're able to get locations easier, get extras easier, and that has been worth its weight in gold, to be honest with you.
Right.
It's really opened us up. You were that night in Paris. We've never had that kind of response. 437 extras show up for a shoot without pay. That all worked with us. We had great acting from the extras. It was one of those nights where it was magical because, trust me, it never happens that way.
Right.
And it's still, to date, my favorite night of filming.
Well, I'm from Paris, and I can attest to the fact that we're all a town of zombies. So if you ever want to shoot a zombie flick, all of Paris will show up and be excellent zombies.
Absolutely keep that in mind, because I was so thrilled with the response from Paris folks that I can't wait to go back down there to make another movie.
So what would be, let's assume this goes as planned and everything works out well, what would be next? Would it be Dooms Chapel 2, or is there another project?
Well, right now, if the movie was successful, absolutely, we would jump on Dooms Chapel 2 and capitalize on it. But we're going to turn our sights most likely to werewolves next.
Interesting. And John took that idea from me because I said he could do a Stanley Kubrick as a werewolf movie.
He waited until after he talked to you before he told me that he liked werewolves. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's and I've been writing it ever since. I'm gonna have to give you that script.
Yeah.
And,
there you go. You should.
Kubrick he's the tortured director who's at night he turns into a werewolf, but in the day he wants to make movies.
That, actually, if there's anyone I think that would turn into a werewolf, it's definitely John. The first time I met John, when we started talking about doing films together, I guess 7 years ago now, the first thing he said, he wanted to make the Ultimate Werewolf movie. And so we're hopeful that we're going to have that opportunity next.
Well, I want to be in it, so I want to audition for any roles as a dog, an extra dog, any kind of.
Let's see if we can't get over to tear you apart, Jay.
Okay, excellent. Let's see. What about have you made? Has there been? I know you said you've made some contacts and got notoriety. Have you had any kind of big guys looking at it yet? I mean, other than me.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, no one as big and are in the same league as you, Jay. But we do have a couple of guys that were very interested in the project. Actually, since we started working on it, one of them is Todd Farmer, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's a Western Kentucky filmmaker. He made He wrote and made Jason X, My Bloody Valentine, 3D, and several other.
I am familiar with it. Yeah.
Drive Angry, the Nicolas Cage movie from a couple of years back.
Right.
He has definitely been instrumental early in the script process. We were able to get in touch with him through our writer, and Jason Turner, and Jason struck up a friendship with them. They're both writers, both from West Kentucky, and and he really enjoyed the script, so much so that he actually, for a short time, they were in talks with, I believe his name's, I don't want to say his name because I'm not exactly sure of it, but one of the producers of the Final Destination movies was interested in coming in to direct. He couldn't get the budget he wanted from New Line, so told them that we weren't going to wait. We were going to go ahead and make the movie. So,
well, that's still cool. I mean, you've got eyes on you. That's what's important.
There was about a month there. We didn't want to say it to our crew, but there was about a month there where, Jason, John, and I, we were kind of on pins and needles, like, wow, is this real? Because we have guys that live and work in Hollywood talking to studios about our project that, they wanted to be a part of because they loved the script that much.
Excellent.
And that was definitely humbling because, you don't always get that. And it's neat to have someone in that position notice you. And although it didn't work out, which is fine, we didn't let that sway us. And we went ahead and made the movie anyway because we knew we had it and we were ready.
Well, I will say that just to kind of toot my own horn a little bit, to be playing the part of the arrogant asshole interviewer, I got a chance to interview the co-screenwriter of JFK, Oliver Stone's JFK. So I could try to get Oliver Stone to direct your next horror movie. What would that be like?
Great. If we could get Holly Stone on this, we could throw in some black and white footage.
Exactly right. JFK gets assassinated, but he comes back and he's a Lycan.
Oh, there we go. Let's work that into JFK. Honestly, if it works for Abraham Lincoln, why not JFK Werewolf?
Right.
I think that should be our next movie. I think it absolutely should. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the Ben Stiller show?
Yeah, I remember that show. Absolutely.
Do you remember the Oliver Stone Land skit?
I don't think I do.
Okay, you got to look this up next time you're on Google. It's really, really funny, but there's it's a theme park, all based around Oliver Stone's movies. It's a really funny skit. Look it up next time. But so, what about the actors? How are the actors feeling now? Are they satisfied, or what's up with them?
Yes, but they have been. I can't say enough good things about our cast and crew. We were so fortunate to find the right people that have stuck with us. Originally we had intended for there to be about a 2-week main principal photography schedule plus a couple of weekends. Well, that turned into a 2-week plus 5 or 6 weekends. And boy, none of them have complained. I've been waiting for them to complain and hate it, but they haven't. They've shown up. They've been there. They've worked their asses off, and I can't say enough good things about them. Our actors have honestly grown so much since we started. A couple of them have far surpassed what we could even hope for. So it's been a journey that I'm very excited to have been a part of with this group of people.
Now, I know that funny man Andy Wiggins has a few little spots. Does he show up any more than Redneck Townsman in Paris, or does he come back anywhere else?
Well, we sprinkle Andy throughout the film as Jed Keith, which is his character's name. Andy Wiggins is a comic genius. I have definitely known this since we got got into filmmaking. He was in our first film, In the Hunt, and then we did a movie together called What a Pair, which was basically a buddy cop comedy. And his timing and his wit and how fast he comes up with things is second to none. So we knew when we had this comic relief redneck character, there was only one person to play it. And I'll just say that Andy Wiggins nailed that part. So I'm very excited for people to see him on screen.
Excellent. Well, so we got the Kickstarter page going, and I guess I do want to encourage the listeners to go over there, and if you can, donate. Of course, my listeners are cheapo nerds who don't donate to my site very much, so don't get your hopes up.
Well, I know we set our sights low. But obviously $5,000 is no piece of chump change, but compared to a lot of the other projects, on Kickstarter, it was a reasonable amount of money. I will say this to listeners: this is been a labor of love for us to be a part of and to make this movie happen. So I would say that if you can spare $10 or even 20, which by the way will get you a digital copy of the movie when it comes out as a reward, if you can spare that much money to help us out, a couple hundred of you doing that would put us over the goal. And we need everyone. We need everyone to help us get there, because it's not just about give us money. It's about us being able to give you guys something that you look back and say, man, that movie was really good. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to do for everyone that even knows of our movie or will ever watch it. And that's what we need the support to come from is horror fans and movie fans and local filmmaking fans and anyone that will, come be a part of it. That's what we need. That's, I guess, all I have to say about that.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Special here. We've got one of the main actors and our wardrobe mistress here.
That's cool.
If you want to ask him any questions, we got Josh here. Josh Robinson played Samuel in the movie, one of the main bad guys.
Well, since you've
Hey, Jay, nice to talk to you.
what's up, Josh? You guys have turned Jay's
Acting class, man.
you guys have turned Jay's analysis into an NPR broadcast. We're going to be asking for more money here in a moment. I'm just kidding. You know how NPR does their soft voice, and then they ask you for money.
It sounded nice. It was very nice.
What, Josh, what did you think? How was it?
About Doom's Chapel?
Yeah. Well, how was it?
It was the first time it was the first opportunity I've had to be a bad guy.
Right.
And so that was a lot of fun. I got to cut my hair real silly, and I got to play with a knife all the time, and be a scary guy.
Are you inducted into their cult now, or do you still have free thinking?
Well, I played the right-hand man to the cult leader, who played, Bill Overs Jr. played the cult leader.
Right.
And so he is trying to get the lead character to confront these demons and deal with the fact that he's asked for punishment to these people who've wronged him in his life. And I, as the right-hand man of the leader, want nothing more than to see the lead character in pain and agony. And so for the whole film, you just see me struggling with ready to be unleashed by Bill, and ready to kill the lead character. I'm just waiting on the man.
So Academy Award, we're talking for you, right? Be positive now. Come on, think big.
He was one of my more pleasurable people to work with and direct on this film. He is not far from that, sir.
I'm just kidding.
You can see a footage of me portraying Samuel, and in our Kickstarter page. Bill is also featured quite a bit on that Kickstarter reel. It's a good representation of the kind of film that we're aiming for.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you guys, and definitely it's so we go to Kickstarter and then we'll type in Doom's Chapel Horror, right? And it'll come up.
That's right.
I'll just put a link in the interview so you guys don't have to worry about that. But Have you guys done any other big interviews? You've been on NPR yet?
No, yeah, we're not exactly their type.
Right. Any other big interviews going?
Nothing right now. Just print for a few horror sites. Yeah, we've done a few print interviews, but nothing where we get to talk to a lovely interviewer such as yourself.
Right.
Yeah, the only one we did do was a podcast, not a living podcast.
Is there a main website, or is it just the Kickstarter page right now?
There's actually just the Facebook page, and the Kickstarter page is linked off of that as well, but it's just Facebook /Student Chapel Horror.
Right. Excellent. Well, I want to thank you guys again, and this has definitely been fun. We're looking forward to the film. We definitely hope the best for it. We hope it gets a wide release. And anything else you guys want to say?
Just visit our Kickstarter page, help us get there, and if you guys do that, we're going to give you guys a kick-ass movie. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah. What'd you say, Jay?
I said thanks a lot, and maybe we'll talk to you guys again in the future after the release or something.
Sounds great, Jay. Anytime. Jay. Thank you so much, man.
Definitely. Anytime.